Hi there. Kim Dakin here with a story that's a little bit complicated and kind of difficult to share. It's about a decision I made to not coach someone. For the coaches out there, this might strike a chord with you. And for anyone who manages people, this might also strike a chord with you. This is a story about, I'll call him Jess, engineer in his 50s, highly skilled. He's been at his job for over 20 years. People respect him. He's a good manager, but he's also under a lot of strain. And he's finding his group of 20 something tech guys very difficult to deal with right now. He keeps saying things in our initial interview like reality is non negotiable. So I can tell right away there's something going on with Jess. I can also tell that it's not just about his job. Now, I gave him the listening assessment that's actually part of my award winning book, Head, Heart, and Hands Listening and Coach Practice. And what this revealed to me is that, no surprise, Jess was a very strong head listener. Head listeners are some of those people who can retain facts. They are aligned with what's proven to be true, what's, as Jess said, non negotiable. Also, they're interested in what has already happened in the past. Well, his team of 20 somethings was not necessarily going to swallow that. They would challenge him, they would not respect him, they would interrupt him, as he called it, hot dog behavior. So, this is one problem Jess had, but the other problem was deeper. His wife has been struggling with lung cancer for the better part of a decade. She had a great job in the financial district, but she had to quit because of her illness. So, Jess, despite trying to decide whether he's actually going to keep his job, has to keep his job because of the financial strain. They're also, as a couple, trying to make sure that their youngest son can pay his college debt. So you can see that this is a complex situation that Jess is facing. One of the things we talked about in our session is the difference between complicated problems and complex problems. Complicated problems can be solved with proven methodology. As an engineer, Jess is all over that. But complex problems are the result of human dynamics and human behaviors. They need to be solved on a case-by-case basis. Now, when Jess went to HR to get help with his managerial problems, they gave him complicated procedures, best practices for management. He took it in, he took it home, he studied it, but in his words, they didn't really take. I could tell he was feeling extremely demoralized. But again, that's a contrast between complicated versus complex problems. The complexity of his situation was why he was seeking coaching. Now, this also reminds me that Shirzad Shamin of Positive Intelligence fame outlines two channels: the data channel, which is facts, figures, what's known to be true. Again, this is Jess's wheelhouse. But the PQ channel is more complex. That's what happens interpersonally, beneath what's being spoken. Facial expressions, tone of voice, body language. He wasn't really tuning into this because Jess already had a full emotional plate. Now, as I'm listening to Jess, I'm starting to understand, as he's talking about his wife and his family and the strain he's under, His voice has become flat, almost a monotone, like he's reeling off these situations while trying to keep himself steady and emotionally disengaged. At the end of our session, I had to make a very difficult decision for me. I had to refer Jess to a counselor. I did this because I could tell that coaching, helping him with career strategy, helping him with interpersonal dynamics on the job wasn't really going to take, because he needed emotional support for his situation at home that, yes, was impacting his job, but I felt strongly he needed a therapist. He pushed back, but by the end of our session, he took the names and numbers that I referred him to. So here's my question to you. As a manager, have you come across the difference between complicated problems and their known procedures versus complex interpersonal issues that need to be solved on a case-by-case basis? And if so, what did you do? And if you're a coach, when have you had to pass on a coaching possibility and give someone a referral to someone else? I'm really interested in your stories. I'd love it if you would connect with me at kimdakin.com. That's KYMDAKIN.com. And thanks for listening.